Righto, legends. Welcome back to episode 8. Cheers, Buzz. Good to see you.
We have not been sued. We are no chains
We're live.
have been
Unshackled. So, yeah. Righto, so I'm just going to go out there on a limb and for full transparency of the potty.
Be sloppy.
Yeah, every day of the week. So we are recording episodes 7 and 8 on the same evening. So we've just punched out 7, which you will see 2 weeks before this. And obviously 2 weeks later, you'll get to see this one we're recording now. Hence the reason we haven't just sat here and drank for 2 weeks with the same clothes on, and we're not in jail.
You never know.
But just for full transparency, because we know we said it right from the start, we do both work big hours. We have a pretty busy schedule, and Jordan works away, so it is about trying to squeeze in with my shutdown regime and Jaden's roster. So
These blokes hanging out with all the Hollywood stars and buying trailers and all that sort of stuff.
100%, yeah, and making small stickers. So that's how we roll. So clearly, I'd like to think that you will see the difference in slightly more motivated when it comes to the second episode, just because they're flowing. So anyway. If that's how we roll,
and if anybody would like to sponsor that flowing segment,
yes,
we're happy to take it.
We're chasing them. And that GoFundMe page that we spoke about in episode 7, it's still up and running. Yeah. It's looking a bit lean too, Buzz. I'll just say quietly, not a lot in the kitty.
Cartons aren't cheap these days, Buzz.
Yeah. So welcome back, legends. Obviously, it's been a hot minute since we would have spoken to you, so we would hope that we would have got some feedback from our last episode. And as we said in episode 7, the questions that we'd got that night previously, or topics that you'd sent us out, we're going to cover a few more of them. Or I think all the topics that got thrown out that night, we're nearly covering, Bruz.
Be close, not quite, but yeah.
Right,
big shout out to you guys, and I suppose we'll rattle through our sponsors, supporters, Devil Accessories.
There he is. The bloke who knows his own business better than anyone.
Devil Accessories. We got 4-drive gear. We just bought a sticker machine, which should be well and flowing by now. If you've seen the last episode, we had mini stickers that I've been cutting. So by the time this comes out, we should have full size ones. There'll be a link in the bio, or DM us for stickers. We've got Provoked Apparel. They do stickers also, but mainly merch. So they do shirts, all the way from your one personal shirt order, all the way to if you want to do like 500 shirts. They'll cover you with that. Hanukkah Auto Care, they do all your car wash and all that sort of stuff, all the way from your show cars to your 4-drives. And I can personally say it makes it a lot easier washing 4-drive because I'm extremely lazy when it comes to that.
Yep.
And Renegade Grips, they do all your grips inside your car. So they've got dog leads, all that sort of stuff. Go check them out. Personalise your car, give it a bit of bling, and they're extremely strong.
Yep.
And I reckon you done because I made that paracord stuff, so I think it'd be handy to have in your car too for if you ever had a survival situation. Need a bit of
100%.
cord.
Yeah, rip off your handle and catch a fish. Yeah, why wouldn't you?
There you go.
And look, and just to reiterate what James is saying, like all small business, all Australian businesses, get around them because I know we love to support the little man, and great little.
It's not for us either. It's not. We're not rolling in dough because we're rattling out a few names. It's all about. Like I said, we want to get some stuff for you guys and support these small businesses. So,
and more than anything, mate, I think it's just mateship. Like these guys are, they've been around you, following your Jag the Joker and your Jokey Yarns there, mate, and getting behind you there, and even with your Devil Accessories, like they've been there from day dot. yeah, they need to be thanked and appreciated for it. So get around them small businesses, guys. It's certainly not about anything but just mates looking after mates, isn't it, brother?
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
And like I said, we'll last episode try and get some sneaky discount codes and stuff. So if you are interested, you can save a bit of coin. As you need to these days. It's alcohol isn't cheap, so.
And again, the last two plugs, and I think we'll probably start doing it. It's not, we don't want to sound like bloody the big name businesses that are just throwing out things, but yeah, both of us do have our own socials and YouTube channels that we're trying to grow. We do struggle to pump out the videos like some of the bigger name people and even the smaller name people that have just fortunately found themselves making that commitment where they can put them out a lot quicker than we can and more regular than we can. But stick with us, legends, and please support us. You don't have to like our YouTube channels. You can stick with the potty if you want, or you can do all of them. You can do whatever you want, as long as you're getting something out of it. Whether it just be when you're driving to work, or you're driving to your next fishing trip, or your next hiking trip, or you're taking the kids to sport on the weekend or whatever. And probably not listening to us while you're taking the kids to sport. Take that back.
Especially not this one, I reckon might be a bit sloppy.
Yeah. But, like the reality is you can watch us on YouTube, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, I think it is. What is it called?
Yeah, Apple Music. Yeah, Apple Music. There's a couple others, yeah.
There's a couple of other ones, and they're all those links are in our bio and stuff. So, yeah, get amongst it. And, yeah, we've both got a bit of merch to sell, and we're both just sort of having a crack. So, get around us, legends, and we'll get around you, and hopefully you're getting something out of it. Episode 8, let's let it rip, my brother.
2 away, and we're still, if we haven't had it already, we want that feedback for episode 10, the big one. We want to do like a couple of hours or something, so a big stomper episode.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Let us know if you can handle listening to us talk shit for a couple of hours.
And even if you can't, we will be doing it. So you can switch off after an hour.
We're just pretending we want the feedback. It's happening.
100%. Lock that in. So, but we would love you to agree with us and say it's worth doing.
Yeah. Well, talking about feedback, what have we got? We had the question box out the other day.
Yeah, we did, mate. So
we got flooded, absolutely flooded.
Yeah.
Life jackets out and all.
Yeah, we did. We're on the snorkels, Russ. We're on the snorkels. So, Shane Oden again, on Insta, sent us in 3 questions in the question boxes. Yeah, so we read out his first one in episode 7. So we're gonna try and punch out his 2 other questions. Do you want to just go back to back on it, brother? And read those other 2 questions.
We'll smash her out. Yeah, we'll smash her out. We'll give him a bit more spotlight this episode.
Yeah. Nah, 100%. So, one of Shane's questions was funniest gotta go moment. So, I'll go for a number 2. Go for shit, essentially.
Brown.
Yeah, the old Code Brown. So, do you want to start it off, or do you want me to, Russ?
I don't really have. I mean, you get on the piss the day before, and you sort of can get the urgency to open your swag pretty quick. But I haven't had. Mine isn't actually camping. It's when I've been at work. So the other not last swing, the swing before, I had my first. So for those that don't know, I work in mining in the all the big gear, all the dump trucks and dozers and graders and all that. And I had my first pit shit.
True.
A couple hours before knockoff.
Just had to happen.
Oh, mate, I was like, I'm not going to make it a knockoff. Like, this is, and obviously a dozer, you're smashing yourself around. So she's, touching cloth. And, look, the old look around the dozer, so many rags got in there. And this occasion had a full sanitizer, what was it, like a container of sanitizer wipe things, which I was a bit worried. I was thinking they could burn. But, turned out alright, but
deadly.
Where I was building a ramp at the time to be able to dump all this dirt, and so there's no room to park. So I'll park the dozer in the corner and right next to the windrow, crack her open, and
Just on.
Get a few out. It didn't sting, and it was about it. But not too much for Cameron, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I've had a few in the morning where you're giving it to it, getting out the swag, and especially when you got the old flying net and the canvas, it can get a bit concerning. But I can't say I've been too bad. I mean, have you ever had like a good shit with a view? I reckon.
100%.
I reckon that's better than
yeah.
Your old shit moments. But I reckon you have a stonker where you're up on a sand hill or something and you just
so good,
mate. What a place.
Yeah. And mate, I know it sounds silly, but Fee and I sort of often talk about it, that whole shit with a view, and I wouldn't go as far as to say we get to camp and we start pre-planning our shit spot, but we do talk about it, where it's just you sort of have it in your head, and it's, you'd be sitting around camp, and obviously we do a fair bit of camping on our own, and, I'll say to Fee the night before, I'm hitting the dune in the morning, and I will be looking out over that ocean.
Who is mine?
And I mean, again, I'm happy to go and shit in the ocean, mate. I don't have an issue with that. And then but if we're in the bush and that as well, I don't try and get myself in amongst the bushes and shit. I'm more than happy just to sit up there and look out over a view, even look down over camp and stuff, and just suss it all out and just sort of. It's probably better you have a view so no one sneaks up on you. You know what I mean? It's and again, I know I mentioned it in episode 7 about doing the boys trip. We actually, one of the camps, man, or our first night of camp when I just met the blokes too. We camped on the Fortescue River, brother, and it's just all river rock. So there is no sneaking off for a shit. There's no sneaking around your camp. There's no it's just noisy, eh? And when you're driving it, you can't hear yourself think. And in the morning, I think there was 10 of us, mate. I think it was 10 adults and the kids, but. The concept of waking up in the morning, and we I wouldn't say we had a big night, but it was the first night that we caught up with everyone, and we sort of sat around the fire. I think we pulled up stumps at about 12, and mate, that night too, I remember pulling out a couple of bags of chili jerky, and then a couple of other lads went and got some jerky, and then Dave, the off-roading butcher, but he could, mate. He makes his own jerky, and it's on point. It's beautiful. He brought out a bit of jerky, and so there was a fair bit of chili getting around, and it works you over. In the morning, brother, I don't know what time I woke up, like 2 o'clock or something, and I could already hear the walking on the rocks. There was lads out there, but it was good that you could wake up in the morning and just perch your head out of your swag like a meerkat. And you could hear the noises and see everyone. So you had to do a bit of a radar, and then sort of off you go. But I actually made the point of, on that particular day and that trip, when I was going for my morning shit, I was actually taking a cap lamp and leaving me lamp on. Not just trying to be in the bush hide and put me lamp on so there was none of that. Just all of a sudden someone pops through the bushes at you and just even if you didn't hear them on the rocks. Yeah, hey bro, there you go. Hey bro, yeah. So I was leaving my camp light on and doing a bit of the old waving the head around so I would catch someone's eye. That was just like my little thing. But mate, if I could tell you a story about it was probably funny looking back on it. On the night, it wasn't funny, bros. It was years ago. We were living in Mackay, and we camped at a place called Smalley's Beach, which is essentially in the same area as Cape Hillsborough. I don't know how many. It's probably 100k north of Mackay. Gone up there with the 3 kids. Anyway, our oldest daughter had just moved up from Melbourne to start living with us. And the 2 little ones were only pretty little. And anyway, I don't even remember what we'd ate that night or what, I didn't feel like I'd had a real big night on the piss or anything like that. Or anyway, we camped up at bloody Smallies, and they had pit dunnies there, like your long drops.
long drops. Yeah.
And quite the actual dunnies themselves, like the cubicle itself, bush setting, like it was quite clean and tidy and little tracks into it and stuff. And I was just on bloody in the middle of the night. I don't know. It didn't feel like it was long after we went to bed. I was just like, oh shit, guts. And then just sometimes, and I know everyone does it, you don't just get that first pain and just jump up and go to the dunny. It was like, especially when you're camping and you go into a long drop. Like if you're at home, you probably would, but I was just like, hopefully I can just, to be honest with you, mate, I'm not going to lie. I sort of was hoping I was going to slip a little fart out, get rid of some gas, and we were just going to sleep it off. Do you know what I mean? And I was rolling around, and just I couldn't. Yeah, that was starting to get a bit hectic, and then it was, when you think I might have like pushed this a bit far, getting the zip undone, and I've got to get to the dunny. Anyway, I've burst out of the swag. Didn't worry about doing the zip up. Fee's like, you're right. No, I'm not good. Like, I've got to go. You're going to have to grab the zip, babes. I've bolted, but I shit you not. Like, there was a couple other people camping probably in the next sort of section of the campground. They weren't, they would have been sharing the same toilet, but they were a bit away. So my ruckus they wouldn't have heard, but I don't think anyway. But I got to that dunny, bailed through that door with me cap lamp on. There was no time for closing doors. There was no, mate, if I go to a dunny, I'll always, like, if I'm going to a public dunny, I'll put a layer on the seat and, and to have a little bit of separation between the last bloke's ass and my ass sort of thing. And there was no time for that, bros. I just basically rolled in there, like you won't see it if you're listening to this, but if you watch this on YouTube, I basically done the pirouette and just ripped the shorts out at once. And, like, I actually did a bit of a bad grandpa, bruz. Like, I actually shit on the wall. Like, up sort of at the back of the dunny. And and then just sat down and just shit. Like, oh, bud, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. And just like, holy shit, and then I'm on there. And then, to top it off, bruz, I don't know how long I was in there for. In a fair bit of pain, and it's stinking, and I'm thinking, fucking hell, I'm in public and it's pitch black. It's like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever. It's like, oh shit, I've got my cap lamp on and the door's wide open and just like, and then anyway, it's like, I think I've got it all out. I go to walk, like, and mate, I've sort of wiped up what I can, but I've got to go and like get some kind of bucket, and I can't just leave it like that. Like, so I've got to go back and do the big cleanup. So I've gone to walk off. I've got halfway along that path. It's only like a 15 metre path between the dunny and the swag, maybe 20 metres. I'm halfway along the path and it's like, it's coming again. I couldn't turn around and get back to that dunny. I just dropped me shorts and shit on the path, like in the middle of the path, bruds. I had to. Otherwise I was just going to shit my pants. And I was just like, and then I'm in the path. I'm shitting on the path. I've still got a mess spot. I've got to go back and clean up. I was like, holy shit, everything's happening. I'm calling out the fee. But, oh mate, it was hectic. Oh, bud. It was bad. It was bad. So I've had to, like, I'm calling out to Fee. Babes. She's not hearing me. It's like I'm yelling a bit louder, but I don't want to alarm the other camp. Like, babes. I didn't want to throw the word help out. All of a sudden, I'm in the middle of the park with, and then someone thought someone needs help and ran out here, and I am in the middle of the park. I've had to just, and mate, I've got no paper, like, because the paper's in the dunny. I didn't go there with paper, so I've had to just walk across the campsite, like naked with my shorts in my hand, and then just like, babes, where's the wipes? Can you help me? I need help. And she's like, what's the matter? I'm not good, babes. I'm not good. So we're on full clean up mission. The next half an hour, we're on full clean-up mission. I've got the bucket out of the car, one of them collapsible buckets. We're grabbing water. And we didn't have huge amount of water, and then I'm in this one of those stupid little taps where you can't put a bucket under it. I'm trying to tip it on the path and throw gravel on it. It's like, fuck. And then, trying to clean the wall down. It wasn't a good night, bros. But I did the best I could. I was just feeling crook. I got it all out, and then I had to just give myself a big baby white clean up, and then, go to bed. And yeah, I was pretty, I don't even, no one else was crook or anything. I don't know what happened, but yeah, it was a big night, bros. A big night. So, mate, I tell you, that is, I've had a, there you go. I'll tell you another story. And again, I don't want people to think I'm feral, because I'm not. I reckon I'm just a normal human. But so back in 2012, we did Cape York and we camped on the Delhunty River. So at the Delhunty, there is no toilets there. You've got to shit in the bush. And when we got there, there's a fair bit of dunny paper floating around. It's hard ground, and it was pretty appalling, actually, the condition of the area. Anyway, I just remember yarning to Fiem, my stepdad and my mate, and I said, look, I just need a shit. It's just like, you got to walk for miles up the track, and it's like, but again, just that, just see if I can wrestle it off, a couple of farts, or just I don't know, just hoping, move to a different spot on my chair, and I can it'll go away sort of thing. Again, just sitting around the fire at night. But, not late at night. This is when it was just before dark. Anyway, it's like, oh no, I've got to go. And I don't know whether it was in my head or the wife's head or my mate just said, shit in the river. I'd never shit in water before. I've never done it, mate. So it's I go to the river, and on the Delhunty crossing, they've got little, a volcanic, it's a volcanic base. And it's got holes there that you can actually sit in, brother. And the water's pumping through there. But some of these volcanic holes, you could just stand in them, but if you can imagine as a cylinder, halfway down, they've got a hole that's just been washed through over time that goes into the next cylinder and then back out, if that makes sense. I'm just I've got to go. I've gone and climbed into one of these holes, dropped me strides, and then I've done the first bit, and it's just and solid, not a runny one, but and it's just gone poof, and it just, as quick as it exits, it's gone. It's down the river. So I've done that, and then I've just heard, how you going, mate? It's I popped my head up, I was looking, there's a bloke on the edge of the river, standing there, goes, you catch, because that day I'd spoken to old mate about catching yabbies. And he goes, how'd you go? Did you catch any today? I'm there in the river, bud, with me shorts, I've pulled my shorts off my feet, and not to pull them out onto the rocks. I've actually just sort of got them, tucked on one leg, if that makes sense. I've dragged them up one leg and just sort of tucked them up at me groin. And I'm staring at old mate. He's staring at me. I'm mid-shit, bruz. And he just wants to talk to me about yabbies. And it's just no, mate.
One just went down the river, bruz.
I'm just no luck, buzz. No luck. He goes, no, I caught a couple of small ones, not worth keeping though. And I said, no worries. And he goes, just having a quiet one. And I said, yeah, bud. And at the time it was yeah, I'm not sure whether you're talking about me shit now or a quiet night. I've just gone, yeah, mate, yeah, it's a quiet one. Let's come down for a quick wash before I go to bed. He goes, no worries, I'll leave you to it. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I said, no worries, mate. Fuck, bud, he's walked off, and I've just, as soon as he walked off, turned his back, I relaxed, and it just went boom, 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 out the back. And it's fucking hell, mate. Of all times, you could come over here and just yarn up to me. I'm just there, quick wipe and off, just shorts on, back to camp, and I was telling the crew the story. They're like, that's gold. And, then you sit around the camp and you think, imagine old mate's just, wandered in. We having a beer, bro? No, mate. No, we're not.
Just trying to play it off, probably.
Yeah. Imagine he come and sat down beside me, and just, thinks I'm just sitting in the hole trying to keep cool. And he wants to come down with a six-pack or something and just sit beside us, bro. I would have had to admit and just say, hey, bud, I'm having a shit. But, yeah, so there's They're me two, like the two that just off the top of my head, bros. Yeah. But and look, I mean, obviously the first one was pretty hectic, but the second one, like to be just in the middle of in the middle of Cape York on your own, thinking it's all discreet, and some bloke just from the bank, just how you going, mate?
Yummy,
It's like, yeah, how you going, bros? Yeah, I'm actually like stark naked in the river having a shit right now. Anyway, that's me couple of stories, bros. Have you got any?
No, that's
just the work ones.
Yeah.
No, just your dumper, just you're behind the pit at work one.
Yeah, just off the side of the dozer, Raz.
Bloody beautiful.
I'm not even going to try.
Go. Well, I hope that's I hope that's not too crude for you, legends, because that's just the way it is. I reckon everyone.
Mate, I'll tell you what. After this episode, it's probably counteracted beer, but I've just about got abs after that one.
Yeah. Well, mate, I'm tipping that the people that do listen to this, there'll be someone out there, at least one, if not five people, that they'll get a giggle out of it. But I reckon they can relate in some way, shape, or form, whether they've just mate, and I'll tell you, it's not. I'll just quickly reel out another quick story. I remember years ago, brother, and it makes me laugh. I remember years ago there was I think back in the day when forums were around, and we were living on the sunny coast, and I went to bed early, and Fee stayed up with the kids, and anyway, I was reading this forum. It was a forum back in the day called the Swagman Travel Forum or something. I thought it was based around the Swagman camper. Anyway, it was just all these stories, and you go through all, how you go through like your headings or whatever, and it was bush camping and swag stories and fire stories and all this sort of stuff. There was a couple that I'll never forget for the rest of my life, making me laugh. But there was this one particular story, and I remember that night reading it. Like, I'm only reading it, not hearing it or anything. But I'm reading it as if in my head, not out aloud, and I was crying laughing. Fee came down from the lounge room and said, "What are you laughing at?" And I tried to read her this story, and I couldn't. How you were laughing just before, Buzz? That's what I was like, and I just couldn't read it. Anyway, so this story goes that the lads are on this boys' trip. Don't even know where they were. A group of lads going on this trip. Anyway. One of the lads is obviously pre-planned. He's just, this is what I'm doing. Big night on the piss. And one of the lads has gone away and taken a jar of Nutella with him. Everyone knows what Nutella is. And just woke up in the morning, played a prank on the boys. Everyone's sort of sitting around the fire, hungover, feeling like dog shit. He's like, "Morning, how's going?" I'm like, "Good, bro, how are you going?" He's like, "Not good, not good. I've got to go for a grog bog, eh?" And they're like, everyone's just sort of laughing, hair of the dog, get on it, bells. Oh, no, not good, not good. Anyway, goes up. I don't even know whether this lad had a shit, but what he's done, he's just grabbed a couple of big wads of Nutella, and he's wiped one, like, on his ankle, like one on his calf, one sort of on his leg, but then grabbed a bit of toilet paper, like, put a wad of, like, a little dash of Nutella on there, and just hung it out of his shorts. And then comes back to the camp and just goes, "Holy shit, I'm not good, eh?" And one of the lads spots the Nutella on his leg and goes, "What the fuck is that on your leg?" He's like, "Oh, bullshit." And he goes, "That looks like human shit, bruz." And he goes, "Oh, no way." He goes, "I'm not good, lads." And they're all like starting to laugh, like, "Oh, you've just shit on yourself." He goes, "I'm not good." Reached down and grabbed this bit of Nutella off his leg and gone the sniff, and then one of the lads has just done the whole and then just done the lick, and Barty reckons, like, I'm reading it, old mate reckons he's just got five lads there all out of their chairs, just like on the rolf, just, "You fuck, get out of it, you pig," like, and he's like, "That doesn't taste too bad, boys, eh?" Like, and he reckons, "Yeah, mate." And because I was reading it, I was just picturing it all. No. I laughed my head off, bros. It was one of the funniest things I've ever read. So, But literally, it's not a bog story. I don't even think he went for a shit. He just thought he'd play a prank on the boys.
No,
but
it was one for the boys.
yeah,
Next
oh mate,
boys
I
trip.
can only imagine it. I can imagine it, mate. It'd be a good laugh. But so anyway, righto, we'll move on from shit stories.
Well, his next question is the flip story. It's actually about food.
Well, there you go. Maybe we should have gone that first. Yeah. Anyway, he sent them in the wrong order.
Unplanned throw together camping meals that turned out amazing.
Yeah.
Does that mean amazing as it's turned out amazing the next day, or?
Not sure. And look, I think everyone's just sort of got themselves in a position where they've just, I can only say, do you want me to go first, Buzz?
Yeah.
So, I know over the years, man, I had a lot of respect or a lot of admiration, I guess, for Ruthie. Everyone knows who Ruthie is, and Ruthie had this knack, I guess, or this, and I don't even know whether, half of the time I've never sat down and eaten dinner with Ruthie, and obviously everyone that was on camera is like, oh, bloody beautiful, John, oh, God, that's bloody tasty, Ruthie, but Ruthie had that uncanny knack, or like a style, I guess you'd say, of just grabbing shit, chucking it in a pot, but he had a bit of intelligence in the fact that, right, I'm going to chuck a bit of, whooshy or a bit of soy in here. That's my salt content, and I'll chuck a bit of marmalade in. He used to be a big fan of marmalade, that's my sugar content. So he sort of knew his ingredients and how to build a meal, I guess. But he used to just do that, bud. And I loved it. I always had that. That's how you do it. You just sort of, you grab whatever's in the tent, the pantry or the cupboard, or out bush, whatever's in your tub or whatever, splash of this and splash of that. But I used to deliberately take out, mate. I would never have thought about taking bloody marmalade, orange marmalade, and that out into the bush. But because Ruth used to do it, yeah, bud. And some of those meals, man, where it's like there's no real measurements. It's just like a splash of that, a dash of that. Not really understanding, like. What's old mate's name? The chef, he'd be turning in his grave. Like, if you're watching that, what's that old mate that swears and gets angry all the time? The old mate. Yeah. Oh, Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay. He'd be just turning his grave if he watched Ruthie make a meal. But yeah, just throwing everything in and made some amazing meals. But you can never replicate it. Just because you never took any notice of anything. So I've had some amazing meals. I must admit, though, I'll tell a story. When I was a young fella, which would have been my last boys' trip as a young fella, we all went on this trip, and me and a mate, still good mates with him today, we were the young ones. I think we were like 16 or 17. 16 we would have been. And we went away with a couple of older lads. Anyway, they had their licences. We didn't have our licences. We've jumped in with them. And we still we weren't allowed to legally drink or anything. Anyway, we've gone away on this trip, and we just being young fellas and getting on the piss. We were blind I think we went away for 4 days. Went to Big River, in Victoria. A lot of people, our Victorian viewers, Shane being one of them, he would know Big River. And I think there's 3 camps. There's Frenchman's 1, 2, and 3. And back those days, mate, Frenchman's 3 was the spot to be. Right on the elbow of this river, and that mint spot. Anyway, we camp up at Frenchman's 3. There's the whole another bloody story to that camping trip, but which is sort of pretty loose. It's one of those ones you tell around the fire, just you and me on episode 50, But yeah, we're there for 4 days, and we just sort of weren't really eating, drinking, just like whatever, doing a lot of mad shit as you do when you're young, and got to the end where it's just like, all the food's there. Let's have just like a big cook up. And one of those lads had one of those like wok dish looking things on a tripod, with the chains hanging down, stick her in, and one of the lads is just like, everyone's food's left, we're going home today, just let's all chuck it all on the pan and we'll have a big cook up. We've gone to our esky to grab our food out. Our food is purple, like it's fuck bud, like pull the lid off and it's like, go and dump that. We just went and dumped it in the river, came back and just like hovered around and everyone's still half pissed and that, we're just hovering around the fire like we've just put our food on and no one's really watching us and we're sort of looking at each other, winking and that. And then just like as the food's all cooking, I've jumped in with the tongs just trying to be the nice young fella, and I'm flicking the food around, and I look over at my mate and I said, steak? He goes, yes, bud. Yeah. So I just grabbed this steak off, and one of the lads is like, that's not yours. And I said, yeah, Buzz. Like, we put 4 steaks on here. It's like, well, there's only 6 on there, and we put 4 on. It's like, well, I don't know where they are. Like, these steaks are ours. So it's like, fucking bit of carry on. So anyway, well, I've just grabbed 2 steaks off. And me and old mate, just like, but with no bread or anything, just a steak. And we've just had a little wink at each other, like the young kids there. Grabbed a steak each, and then, old mate's like, well, what? So whose are these? And it's like, well, we put 4 snags on. We put no food on. So me and old mate have had a steak and 2 snags each. And like, everyone's just like, they're mine. They're all the carry on around the fire. Like, I'll never forget it. And we sort of just walked off after, and we're packing up our thing. And we're just, back those days, it's like the old handshake. There's no fist pumps and that back there. Handshake, like, yeah, bros. Like, fucking got no food. We're not going home hungry. We've had a snake and 2 snags and didn't have anything to contribute. But, yeah, as for just like, we've had some nice meals. I don't, just over the years, but of just like throwing food together. Or you go away for a few days and it's a case of just throw everything in there, even bacon and eggs and stuff that you wouldn't have with bacon and eggs. Just chuck that in, that'll do. So I don't remember specifically a meal that it's like I didn't think it was going to come out good, but it has. I reckon every meal I throw together sort of comes out pretty good. So I'm a big fan, to you, Shane. I'm a big fan of just having a bit of a crack at different flavours, chucking a bit of this in, chucking a bit of that in, and just saying, because I don't think you can, when you're chucking a bit of this and a bit of that in, you never really cook a shit meal. I don't think I've ever had a meal where I've thought, holy shit, that tastes like shit. So, what about yourself, man? Have you had a standout meal that you've thrown together?
Yeah,
or?
I was thinking of because we're really like proper basic when it comes to camping, like.
Yep.
Snaggers and bread and sauce, or a bit of steak, or so I hate I'm there to camp and fish or four drive. I'm not there to sit there for an hour cooking or anything. So the family does bits and pieces, but like this little trick I learnt with the family. It's been on my YouTube channel as well about the flour trick. You dip your bacon into flour.
Yeah, but I've seen you do that with Dylan.
Yeah, it's amazing. So what you do is you need lots of oil in the pan, but to get crunchy bacon, before you put your bacon in the pan, you dip it in flour. Doesn't matter what flour, and you cook in there as long as you got lots of oil. It bakes. It goes crispy as. So we always, if you can be bothered, you bring a bag and a bit of flour and do that. But yeah, like generally, I had. Just the other day, I was like, not yesterday, day before, no, yesterday. So, we've got jaffle makers, the ones you put on the fire, and we'll do it all the time. We actually do it inside, like when we're at home, we'll get the jaffle maker out and stick it on the fire with the handle out, and I don't know, it's just something about the jaffle maker. It's just
good.
You can get a toaster machine, but it just doesn't beat it. So
no, 100%.
I was at the in-laws' place on the farm, and the missus had got up a little bit early before me. She had to leave to go to work, but I had to take a truck to go get some hay, and so she's made a jaffle with a jaffle maker. I was like, that's a killer idea. Like, I want a jaffle in a while. Like, you can't beat it. Had the spaghetti out, and she's like, there's 3/4 of this can of spaghetti there. You make yourself a jaffle. So I made my first one, and mental. I thought, I'll go a second. And I thought I should run out and start this truck to get the air up.
That old chestnut.
Good
to go.
It's an old girl, so there's not much moving, and for 20 minutes to build the air up. It's all going out there flat battery, and so I'm starting. There's the old farm trucks. There's a little trick to them. You leave. This one you leave the fuel pump going for like 10 minutes to get before you can start it. So I'm trying to do this, muck around.
Jaffle's still cooking.
I'll come back down the house. Just smoke. Like it's an old farmhouse, no fire. Everyone's still asleep too. Just coming, just smoke billowing. I don't even know why. I walked in there and I turned it over and walked back out.
Did you really?
I don't know why. I just turned it over, walked back out when I got the jumper lead, took the car out, come back in and just smoke everywhere.
Well, fuck that side. I better just try the other one. So good.
I got it out. Well, like, come back after I jump start the truck, come back. I'm like, yeah, it's a write-off.
What a bloody classic.
So, yeah, I didn't have a second jaffle, but...
How funny is it though? Just like, I'll try the other side then. That's gold, eh?
I don't know why. I left it cooking it, yeah, she was black.
What a classic.
Yeah, I can't, like I said, I'm like real simple, like just the basics, and that's how I like it. That's how I like it. Just stove and just a steak or something, and might get fancy with a bit of, special seasoning or something. But
yeah.
I
must admit, mate, like sort of on topic but off topic. When we talk about slapping, I spoke earlier. I think I did actually. I think I spoke about it on episode 7. Which would have been a couple of weeks ago now, but talking about when I was with the Fall Drive Club and we had the camp up and cook off, and this particular one, oh mate, there was we've had a few, and there was like, I don't know, mate, I think there was like 12, maybe 15 camp ovens, and everyone. But there is so much time and energy and passion invested into these cook-offs. And it's a ripper night. Like I'll miss them, mate. Like it's a bloody good thing. And there's people with cast iron. There's people with spun steel. There's one bloke that cooked out a South African fella, Steve-O. Cooked with like one of these old, I don't know I can't remember the exact name, but it's like a South African concept. It's basically a crock pot or a hot pot per se, but you cook it like a camp oven. I can't remember some kind of stew that he cooked on it, but these cook-offs, mate, we've never. And I'll bloody put my hand on my heart and tell you, we've never like even 15 meals. Like we've won a couple and we've come runners up or whatever, and some other people have won them and done some amazing meals and all that stuff. But we've never in any of those cook-offs, mate, ever had a shit meal. Like, and I genuinely tell you, we've never had a meal where, like later on, even Fee and I have like. Not discreetly said to ourselves like, bloody Jaded and Shannon's spaghetti was pretty shit, but like it's never happened, mate. Like it's every meal. Like there's some that are obviously that. Oh God, that's nice. But you would sit there, and you would just mate, like I just get some mad effort that's gone into some of the meals, and even like desserts and bloody entrees and mains and just anything and everything, mate. Like it's it's a good thing. And some of those meals, and a couple of those, mate, like have been real educated meals, and a couple of those meals over time are a bit of the Ruthie style, and what Shane's talking about, where it's a bit of a chuck a few things in, chuck a bit of this out, and it's like, oh, holy shit, nailed it. So get around it. One, what's the old saying, mate? The old one pot wonders, eh? And I know, like the boys off, Fall Drive 24/7 do it. Shauno's forever doing it. Shauno and Graham.
Just a kilo of chili and something.
Yeah, just chuck it in. Just get it in there. The chili will kill everything. The garlic will kill everything. And just blow it all out the arse in the morning. So, all for it, bruz. All for it. So again, Shane, thanks, mate. We got through those 2 questions. Absolute legend, brother.
That would have to be the top question.
Well, mate, it was good. You got us laughing anyway. Good job, Shane. Good job.
We got Zach's question too, eh?
Yeah. So, and that was, I think, of all the questions, Buzz, that was sent in. I think bloody Johnny DaCosta sent in another one too, but I can't remember.
Yeah, it might be next episode.
The next episode, eh?
A couple one for the next episode, yeah.
Yeah, copy. So righto, well let's. You're gonna have to read Zach's out, mate, because have we got an hour just to read his question out? And I know he'll laugh at that.
He comes in with the bangers, eh? He puts some pressure.
He does.
I ain't stuffing around. You know,
Nah,
we're an
thanks,
amateur
Zach, because
podcast here, bros.
yeah, and mate,
For sure.
he's bloody question. I hope you don't hear this. I need to get a new seat because like I've got me. This seat has just been on the noise the whole time. I know whether you're hearing it, but when we play this back, sorry for the noise on the chair, legends.
My laugh will be covering it.
Yeah, like I've got the squeakiest chair in Australia's history, so that you'll probably hear that for the whole thing. I'll give this the arse.
Yeah.
Go on, mate. Read out his
So,
4-paragraph question.
Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
So, hi team, what's your opinion on the current state of the four-wheel drive accessories market? Are TJM/ARB pricing themselves out of the market, or is it the case? Of if you want to pay for it? Well, we see lots of King-style brands popping up, which people spend less to save money, but buy rubbish that needs to be replaced after a year, or is it detrimental to the vehicle? So it's I don't know. So I believe
It's an age-old question.
Yeah, 100%, and I believe Zach works down in Albany in a four drive shop, so he's probably right on the answer.
Yeah,
Probably right on the test, but it's I don't know, like obviously having a four drive business, I've looked at a lot of the manufacturers and stuff like that, and it's a real tough. As we know in Australia, prices are nothing's getting cheap. Like it's crazy. And if I, for example, want a product and I go to Australian manufacturer, it's expensive. It is what it is. You know, whether it's a bull bar, whether it's an awning, whether it's a bloody clip that goes on the side of your four drive, a hat, merch. It's bloody expensive. You know, I can go to China and buy a shirt, a quarter of the price. Tenth of the price of what I can in Australia. And so you can go to that in Australia, support Australia, which I believe you should, and you can go buy a product for that. But then people complain, oh, that's way too expensive, I can go elsewhere or whatever. Fair enough. And then you can also go to China, which I'll be straight out, some of my products are from China. I always try and source the best quality you can get from there, but as I don't have the buying power to go spend 50 grand, 100 grand in Australian manufacturers.
And don't have 20 years experience in it either, mate.
Yeah, 100%. But then, there's I've gone to some of the manufacturers, for an example, Spotties, and I'm not going to mention names, but a lot of the market, just about all of them, are from exactly the same factory.
100%.
So from you can probably guess the brands from your base model brands to the top end brands. I can get from exactly. I've got a set of Spotties on my N70 Hilux. They're from a top tier brand, and I've got them cheap as chips from this manufacturer. Just because of the name. They'll slap a price on there, and obviously they're manufactured at a different standard. Like I'm not,
of course,
bullshitting that.
There is slight. They might come out of the same factory, but they do. There is 100%. A point of whether it'll be used a zinc plated bolt or a stainless bolt. That can actually add to the price. As silly as that sounds, but that's how it's built. The paint they use on them, they might come out of there, but they might use a powder coated surface rather than just a bloody spray can surface. Still same factory potentially, but that's where your market is, I think, your price range.
I think each brand and quality has its own place too. And I will drop this name, don't sue us from the last episode, Kings. And I give it to these guys, I'm assuming pretty much all their products have come from China, but they'll bring out a product and it'll have a flaw, but they improve on it every time. There's been some shit ass products that come from them, but they'll bring the next model out, all those problems are fixed. You get the warranty and all that. But if I was to build a car and I'm like, okay, I'm going up to see Ronnie Morgan, do the big trucks up there, I'm going to go, go hit all the Gibb River Road, do all these hard ass trucks. I'm not going to go to Kings probably, like that. Each product's have their place, I'm probably going to go spend a bit more coin to a brand that's got a bit better quality.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't know. Yes, they're probably expensive, and if they depends where they're getting their products made, it's probably
Yep.
100% it's getting out of people's price range. You know, it's just the
Yep.
way the economy is, and you know,
The economy
prices.
plays a big part in it.
Oh,
Jaden,
100%.
like,
And it's like it's getting ridiculous to even
Yeah,
live.
it is.
Like, you know,
Yeah,
just your
100%.
regos and this and that, and
Yeah.
you know, like the list goes on. I'm not going to get into that, but you know, I think they always have a place. You know, you still have your big money in it, like people on good wages of certain jobs, and
Yep.
you know, like yourself, you're not. I don't say you're rigged with dog shit products on there because
No, it
you're in
doesn't.
an environment that you need to have those good quality products, because otherwise you're going to be stuck out in the bush.
So,
You know,
yeah.
like
And look,
it's,
I mean, if I was to break it down, brother, how I would break it to to essentially answer his question in the concept of are the lower named and priced brands such as Kings, and like I don't think Kings are suing. I don't think there's a person in Australia that hasn't named King's name out aloud. Like, you know, they'd be suing every bloke in Australia if they listened to everyone's comments. But the concept of how I would explain it from my understanding, when you just said then, you know, if you go into say we're going to go to and catch up with Ronnie and do the Umbulgari track, there is that track is, if not the hardest track in Australia, one of the top 3 or 5 hardest tracks in Australia. It's a known thing. I haven't done the track, but you don't need to be genius to work it out. So there is some things that you would put in your car, because you just said you'd put all the dearest shit you could on the car. I think there's a bit of a pros and cons thing, and I think if you're building a car to go and do the Umbulgari track, everything that can stop you in your tracks, buy the best you can afford or money can buy, whichever comes first. So if there's no budget, buy the best you can buy, best on the market. If there's still a bit of a budget, buy the best you can possibly buy. If it's shit that's not going to stop you in your tracks, go and buy Kings, mate. Like, in all seriousness, if it's going to get damaged up there, or, you know, mate, if you're just going to go and do a trip up there and not that phased, buy a King's awning. Like, mate, yes, we run a Bush Company awning. Mate, the Bush Company awning, in my opinion, is the best on the market. In my opinion. But I haven't had every awning on the market, but I've had that and I love it. I swear by it, and I would advise anyone to buy it if they're in the market for a quality awning. But the reality is, not everyone earns crazy money, and an awning is not a showstopper. Put a King's awning on there, mate. If you get 2 years out of a $100 awning, you're in front by a long shot. Yeah, you got to put up a couple of poles and a couple of ropes or whatever, but you're in front by a long shot. So there is a market for that, but I still think the bigger name brands will never be out. ARB and TJM are never going to go broke, mate. They'll always be within the market because their quality assurance, they're top tier gear. And yes, mate, I believe they are overpriced. I think, like anything, you know, we're looking at. Someone asked me just recently, brother, about, we just went and picked up the new trailer. We told you all about that in episode 7. That same trailer, 100% Australian steel, look, and it's built here in Australia, mate. Like, old mate lives in Bullsbrook and builds them himself. He's a sheep farmer. They're a farming family. Like, they're genuine Aussie people. I'm pretty confident for the price we paid for it. And I'm not here to tell people what we paid for that trailer. Mate, it's priced on application anyway. If you want to know how much we paid for our trailer, go and jump on his website and order one, and just he'll tell you the price, because there is no prices on the site, just because there's different things. You can build the trailer to suit your own needs, essentially. But the reality is, mate, if we were to buy that trailer, Australian steel, Australian made, every part on that trailer is Australian, there's not a chance that we could buy that trailer for the same price we bought it for. That's the reality. And, mate, we don't, as much as, you know, you giggle and, you know, you pay out of me and call me Hollywood and all the rest of it. And I take it as tongue-in-cheek. It's all jest, it's all banter, it's good mates talking shit. But the reality is, mate, we still have a budget. Yes, we have a bigger budget than some other people, and we have a smaller budget than some other people. We're middle of the middle of the market sort of people. But the reality is, mate, if we had an open checkbook, fuck, there's some trailers on the market, brother, we would have bought in a heartbeat. Nothing, not taking anything away from the trailer that we've just bought, because I think it's mint. I think it's so well built. A couple of little things that I would have changed or whatever, but I think if I had said to old mate, hey mate, with the bloody trundle drawer, we want to get that encapsulated, he could do that. It just would cost more. He's trying to get people into the market. So he's nowhere near the kings of trailers. Make no mistake about it. But he's not the bigger names. We've had enough suing in the last couple of episodes. But he's not within the biggest name where everything to every last clip and everything is Australian made and Australian sourced, and you're paying top dollar for it. Like he's crimped on a couple other things to get you bloody in the market, get you bloody hooked up to a trailer and get you out bush. So I don't know, mate, whether there's ever going to be. I think there's always going to be a high end market and a low end market. And to be honest with you, mate, our daughter, 19 years of age, just bought a Prado, and she's saying to me, Dad, what should I buy? And I said, like, the best money can buy. I wish I had an open checkbook where I could just say, here, I'll shout you this, I'll shout you that. And, mate, if I had my way, say a recovery kit. If she says, what recovery kit should I buy? I'd say to her, babes, if money's no expense, or if just buy Sabre. I rate Sabre. I'm a big fan of Sabre gear. It's all soft stuff. It's all good. It's Australian made, Australian company. Is it all Australian made 100%? I'm not 100% on that either. There'd be parts of that that's China or whatever. I don't, mate. The bags they come in, I can fucking guarantee you they're not Australian bags, because we buy bags off, Joel from Camper's Choice, for example. Mate, they're Australian, West Australian made, Australian canvas. They are a bag you can throw a tank at and you can't hurt them. They're not the same as the bags that the Sabre gear. We're getting sued every week, won't we? But the reality is, brother, but their gear, Sabre gear, brother, is state of the art. It's the best shit on the market, in my opinion. But if my daughter said, what recovery gear should I buy? And Dad, I've got 10 grand to spend on recovery gear, go and buy Sabre. Dad, I just want to get a recovery gear to get a King's kit. Like, babe, you can get them on sale, like for $150, and you get a little shovel, a bag that probably lasts 6 months and it'll fall apart, winch extension strap, snatch strap, bloody a big heavy pulley. But I mean, it gets you out in the bush. So there's a place for all that, mate. Again, I just think the economy. You just said the economy, but I think the economy just dictates what people are going to drive, what they're going to have. Again, you call me Hollywood because I've got a 79.
I think if anyone's going to drop off, it's the lower end. There's I've heard on a few podcasts before, and they're like, there's 10 rooftop tents that are exactly the fucking same from China. They're 100%. The companies that are probably going to drop out because they're not. They don't have their own, Kings of Kings. They've represented their name. Everyone knows what level they are. But, there's 10 different companies offering exactly the same product from China, from exactly the same manufacturer. They're the companies that will drop out, not ARB or, whoever.
Bush Company,
Yeah, they've set their market, they've set their products, Drifter, they've got good quality products. They're in their niche, they've got their quality, they've got their designs. They're not necessarily...
And when you say that, man...
They're not going to copy me on.
And I think that's the thing where even you just sort of mentioned the name Drifter, and again, I don't want Luke to sort of start getting involved in suing us either, but Luke has a passion. Is the Drifter gear the best on the market? It's right up there. And I think what you pay for is Luke's passion. His knowledge he's been in the industry for a long time, and if he makes a bag and that bag doesn't work, it's not, I'd go out on a limb, and I don't even know the bloke, but I'd reckon 9 times out of 10, but it's not the feedback he gets from the clients. It's from him flogging the shit out of it in his own personal trips, where he comes home and thinks, that doesn't work. The latch needs to be further up. This bit of leather's, we need to put leather there instead of canvas, or we need to do this. Like, Bud, his passion for his craft and the gear he makes. Unfortunately, the reality is, Bud, you pay good money for that. You need to pay the man for his craft, his passion, or like you're not funding his heart and soul, like, but you are. Like, his gear's good, mate, for a reason. When you're talking about, buying you can buy them same clear top bags from about 3,000 people across the country, and there is definitely standard differences. Like, the reality is there is, mate, and there's, pardon me, we've got quite a few different clear top bags, and we've got high end clear top bags, and we've got low end clear top bags, and I can tell you, just as simple as the zip doing up, where you just want to throw it over your shoulder, you're paying a lot less for that bag that you want to just like burn the thing on the first fire you can get near, to the one that's just, Bud, it's solid, it handles the mud, it handles the water, it handles the Pilbara heat, the zip fucking does up every time. Like, so I don't know, and I think you might be right, mate. Like, I think the lower end people, they'll won't survive as long. But ARB and TJM, your Terrain Tamer, all these mobs, they have been around for I'm 50 and they've been around since I was a kid. Do you know what I mean? So, and they're still surviving through the test of time because they make quality products. Yes, they're bullshit expensive. Some of them, like, but you go into ARB, like, and we talk about it all the time. Oh, we're getting sued again, but the reality is, bud, you go in there and they're, especially up here too, but they're very unhelpful. Like, they don't care if you don't want to buy their gear. They know they've got good gear, and if you come into the shop, they don't even really feel like they've got to get out of your seat and come and talk to you. It's like, bud, you know what you're buying. Do you want it or not? Otherwise, piss off. Yeah. Whereas the smaller name brands are more likely to get up and, g'day, sir, how you going? And, yeah, mate, bloody got a good deal, 3 for 20. Oh, fuck, I'll just, yeah, righto. And you sort of do it a bit on, like, just the person that's bloody selling you the product. Yeah. You might be as happy with those 3 bags. So, probably off topic, but the concept is, mate, to answer Zach's question, I'm not sure whether any particular businesses will be marched out of the industry. I just think that there's gear out there that everyone, everyone's on a different budget, mate. Everyone has different needs. To be honest with you, mate, if you're a family travel in Australia and you're going to use your rooftop tent, or not a family, like a couple, or a family with a caravan, or, anything, if you're going to be travelling Australia for the next 12 months or indefinitely, you would buy the gear that's going to last the test of time. If you're a random, I go away once a month or a couple of times a year or whatever, there is zero reason, and again, I'll say about the Pilbara, but everything up here cooks. It can be in the shade, it can be undercover, and it roasts up here and shit doesn't last. So if you're going to go out 3 times a year, you wouldn't put a $10,000 rooftop tent up here and just let it sit in the sun and just like deteriorate for the sake of it. If you're going to spend good money, go and use it. But if you're up here and you're going to do a couple of trips a year, bud, just buy a King's tent. You can buy them for like bloody $1,800 on special, use it a couple of times a year, and you deal with the fact that you might get a bit of mould in your mattress, or pull it out then. Like, mate, we've got a Bush Company tent, and it doesn't matter what you do, you can't hurt it. Like, I don't know, mate, I rate them, but they're not as cheap as a King's tent.
Yeah, but there's a big thing too, I think, at the end of the day, they're a business, so...
Yeah.
A little company, they can run off bugger all. Like, they'll be hiring a salesman, or that salesman is the owner of the company, or, and a company like ARB, they've got their corporate office, they've got branches, and when you expand to a size of what their company is, it costs a lot. Like even like I've had a bit to do with Drifter in the past, and it's when they go from a small company to Luke just punching out canvas bags and stuff to opening branches Australia
all over Australia.
You now need a manager. You now need a manager for that. You now need a national manager. You need a store manager. You need someone to run the dirt. And the costing of stuff goes way up.
Yeah, of course.
So it's not you just starting a Chinese company. And I feel like half the time it's how you need to start. Mate, you might have to start a company with the cheaper products because you can't afford. Someone like Luke, he's got the cash flow to be able to pump money through big quality products, and and like at the end of the day, it's a business. It's Kings are kings. They got the buying power. The reason they're so really cheap is because they've how many stores, like even the little store down Manjimup, one of the ups. They've got Kings in the Mitre 10 down there.
Have they really?
It's like they're everywhere. Yeah, they're everywhere, and it's expensive for them, but their buying power would be crazy. From what I could go find a manufacturer that sells exactly the same product, but I can't get it as half as cheap as a tenth as cheap as what they can, because they can go spend 500 grand on compressors or something at once. I can spend $1,000. So
and mate, the same thing, an ARB compressor. We've got a TJM compressor in our cruiser, and then in our 105, all mounted in there. It's $1,000 compressor. Big twin compressor, brilliant, and it hasn't let us down. We've only had it for 2 years or whatever. It's been brilliant. Pumps up tyres real quick, cement. We've got a King. We've just bought the 79, and I haven't set up the 12 volt, so I didn't want to commit and buy another $1,000 compressor because we bought it, and we didn't want to just double up on everything, and we wanted to make sure we bought all the right thing. I went and bought one of them Kings fucking twin thumpers or whatever. Mate, it was like $120 delivered or whatever it was, ridiculous. And the other one, my old man's had his for fucking 5 years. He doesn't flog it like a bloke who's travelling Australia or going out on the beach every weekend. But mate, our old Kings one, which is still working, it's sitting on the back of the trailer. I pulled it aside for my daughter, but the reality is, it's a pain in the ass. You've got to put your bonnet up and do all the rest of it. But man, for the price, they are crazy. They're ridiculous, and I think, in reality, if you're a young couple and budget is not huge and you want to travel Australia, or if you want to go and do a 4-week trip or whatever, you could set your vehicle up, fully kitted out, with a chair, an awning, a compressor, a deflator. Fuck, mate. Just the list goes on. There's no, a jaff line, a fire pit, just cap lamps. Fuck, they sell everything. I don't think there's anything they don't sell. You could set your whole rig up, I reckon, for $2,000. Do you know what I mean? $2,500. You could go to where we've bought all the best gear we can.
$2,500.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like our Bush Company awning, man, $2,500. Yeah. But old mate and old love here on their little budget, they've just set half their vehicle up. They're good to go. They're about to go around Australia, and all I've got's a fucking awning out of it. So, mate, that's the reality. My awning will still be going in 10 years' time. Theirs might not. But the reality is, mate, 100%, not to keep going on about it, there is a place in the market for everyone. Every single budget, the economy will dictate that. The cost of living is absolutely ridiculous. And, yeah, to answer your question, Zach, 100% everyone's still going to get a piece of the pie. I don't think we're going anywhere anytime soon. I think everyone's just going to survive in the current market.
And if you want to have a company, go see Devil Accessories. They're really
good. And look, I mean, that's the reality though, but another small business. Mate, you're a young fella having a go. And again, that, you talk about buying power, but even just the time you're investing, you work full time and you're trying to run a business on the side with the dream of being a drifter or a Kings or whatever. And, and we're not talking quality. We're just talking about a small Australian business. And mate, I'll back you 100%, and I'll support you, and I hope that the people watching this will get behind you. And because at the end of the day, you can only sell so many products. You might get onto your site and go, well, he only sells a couple of products. Yes, mate, because the budget isn't there. Let's support him and buy a bit of his gear, give him some more buying power, get him to expand his stock, and then we'll just keep going. He doesn't, it's not about you being in competition with him, but it's about a young bloke. And you're about to become a dad. You've got a beautiful young wife. You've got a good life ahead of you, and you're having a crack. Get behind the smaller businesses, and yeah, mate. If you're selling a bit of stuff out of China or whatever, as long as it's not that China stuff that the first time you put one of your deflators on there, the fucking spring pops over your shoulder and goes 20 metres out into the paddock. Yeah. If you're on shit like that, you're going to get bitten on the arse. Do you know what I mean? No matter what price you're selling at it. So. Nah, Devil Accessories, mate, get on board.
Yeah, and since we're on all the businesses that have supported us, they're all, and I think I'm probably the only bloke from China, but they're all true. Like, Renegade grips. All their grips are made from hand. Aniki Auto Care, I believe, is a bloke in Australia that makes all the chemicals and stuff, and all the car wash and brake apparel. It's all made by, they've got their own presses and stuff. So a little bit.
And did the press come out of China? Every chance. But the reality is they've bought the press. No, but you know what I mean? Like they've bought the press. They've brought it into their. And I don't know whether they've even got a factory or whatever, but they would have started out at home, just started out small, and they've just. I know you and I have talked about the guys from Provoked. Like, man, they're a couple that are just like passionate, great people, and having a crack. Like, and as you said, most nights are up trying to place out orders, and they're still just they're basically burning the candle at both ends, just trying to get it. And like most things, mate, as much as you put in is what you for. That's what I think everyone's dream is anyway. Yeah,
and that's probably the best selling point of since we've on it is about why we support these guys, because they're it's not just another people just trying to make a quick buck.
It's not a corporate business.
It's like I said, they're slogging it out at home, like on the candle, and they're not successful unless they're supported. So
absolutely, get around them, 100%. What do you reckon, bros? I reckon you get behind like Red Dust Adventures and Jag the Joker too. Like they go all right. Not too bad.
Bit of knockoffs, but
Yeah, you're a knockoff.
I heard they got some shit stories.
100%. Got plenty of bloody stories. Righto, bros. Is that that's our stories
15,
for tonight.
That's hour 15.
Hour and 15. Beautiful. So again, I'm going to jump on the front foot here and just say a massive thanks. I know Jaden's just reeled off our supporters that have got behind us. Get behind them. They're small businesses, but our biggest shout out is to you guys listening, and tell your mates. Give us that feedback. Yeah, it's not getting unnoticed from our little small end of. You guys are killing it. We love it, and we have our little private messages, and we're not going to grow without yous. Yeah, we're not here to compete with the biggest people in the industry, but if you take us there, we're gonna go there with yous. And keep giving us them topics, keep giving us your laughs and all the rest of it, and we'll laugh with you and hope we get something out of it, because I think I said in episode 7, mate, at the start of it, about like. We're not here to be the the Beyond Blues of podcasts and advocate or be advocates per se for mental health and stuff. But I tell you, bloody what, having a yarn with you, bros, and having a laugh. It's healthy, bros. It's healthy, and I hope there's blokes and women at home. We're certainly not a bloody gender specific bloody podcast, so. If you're a chick at home and you think that, you're going to get something out of this, and please, any chicks out there that want to send in your stories. I think you said a couple of episodes ago, Old Love with LN 300 or something, I think it was having issues with her CVs when we were talking about what breaks and all the rest of it. and she sent in her topic or whatever. Yeah, get around it. Like, and again, it's not just, I think we're specifically focusing, or we're getting these topics about, off-road and four-wheel driving and all the rest of it. But, yeah, I'm going to throw a bit of quad bike stuff in there over time because, I mean, for us, the quad biking is a part of what we do. And it's sort of no different in some ways to four-wheel driving. We set up our quad bikes with all the same sort of recovery gear. We've got our Sabre recovery gear. We've got our water and our EPIRBs and our bloody same shit we carry on our four-wheel drive is what we carry on our quad bikes, just on a smaller version. And we go away and we put our lives at risk for the same outcome, just on a different mode of transport. And then, if you're into bloody bushwalking and you're going to do some crazy bloody walk, and you want to get on here and tell us about, what's your best emergency food, or, what's your scariest moment of, camping out or whatever. There's a few little topics that I want to just throw in, and when we run out of topics from the guys out there that are supporting us on the gram and that, yeah, we'll just throw our own in there, mate, because there's a few topics that we could just sort of yarn up. And that's maybe like one for the anniversary 10th one, bros, where we get a couple of topics out and then we just start throwing, shooting from the hip. What do you reckon?
Sounds good. Yeah, well, I did have something I was thinking about then, and it's totally gone. But
nah, good effort, mate. Like, I can see how motivated you are, bros. Yeah. Fucking snap out of it. Yeah.
It's
very riveting. I'm glad you have all jumped on here just to watch fucking Jaden sleep. Great work, bros.
Hey, at least my beers aren't going all over the floor, bros. I'm redeeming myself these last two.
Yeah, good job.
No, they're they're good. We've said it again and again. The feedback, and it's the People's Podcast. Oh, that's what I was saying. Off-road.
Yep.
It's off-road yarnsman. Anything off-road.
Yep.
We talk about it, whether it's on
Let's
foot, motorbike, push bike, four-wheel drive,
canoe,
camping, whatever it is.
Yep.
I mean, the pub's off-road, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
This bloke's been off-road trying to get the dunny and stuff, so whatever's going on.
Yep. 100%.
Guys, thank you very much.
Cheers, brother. Good on you, legends. Episode 8. Join us in a couple of weeks for episode 9, and then a couple of weeks after that, the big stonker, the big episode 10. So strap yourselves in, get yourselves, get all your topics in a bag, and just start flicking them off to us. Thanks for your time. Yep. Appreciate you joining us and tuning in, whichever way you're doing it. Yep. Episode 8. Cheers, brother. Appreciate your time. Good talk,
guys.
Righto. See you, legends. Woo.